Hi Gemini, thank you for joining me and welcome to my channel. This is your reading for the eclipse on the 5th or the 6th of January in 2019. I'm excited to be here with you guys. This is the Thoth Tarot deck, and yeah, let's take a look at what you were beginning. This is a part of a 3 eclipse system in Capricorn, which is your 8th house. I'll show you guys that in a minute. The first one is January. The full moon one, cutting things out, is in July, right? And then the next new moon one is in December, on the 26th of December, which is at the beginning of Capricorn. And that's going to initiate something just like this one is. This is for Sun, Moon, and Rising Gemini. I'm just coaching. Some people were unclear. Even though I use like a standard wheel, this is not your natal placement. This is like a whole house system in which each house is 30 degrees, whereas in your natal chart they would be various amounts of degrees and angles. So this is the closest that I can get it to a reflection of your charts, and it definitely works with your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mars. It just sets that transit to that first house. Okay, that's that. So let's take a look at your Thoth and find out what the message is. Your first message is the 9 of Pentacles. Look at that whole... Okay, so we have 9 of Pentacles, Venus and Virgo. Autonomy, you know, doing your own thing. This is almost like the lesson for the whole year. It's like you start off with a big lesson about autonomy, doing your own thing, and then you're supposed to kind of stick to that, but they're things that are going to come up this year that are going to distract you. So for the time being, just stick to it. We have the Knight of Swords, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra coming into your life, and then the Queen of Swords, which could be you presumably, or an Aquarius or a Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, or a Gemini, right? This is a little problematic. I think that this could be like a facet of your past, something that was very controlling in terms of its energy. Especially in the early part of the year, you are going to be working through a lot of energy to release karma from the past, and since it's all concentrated in your 8th house, that's going to be very kind of big stuff, big dealings. Anything that was very constricting and maybe dogmatic, or very kind of compartmentalized. I feel like anything that you gain on your own, which is your 2nd house, I'll show you guys in a minute, is going to be almost directly challenged, and that challenge is going to be teaching you exactly what you need to release. So it's almost like trying to figure out what the problem is, and you have to, yeah, it's basically it becomes a self lesson on exactly what to change, because I think that when you express strength and something has a very direct, very intense, or someone has a very direct and very intense reaction to it, it's a sign that something about that is, you know, really wanting attention right now. And since it's the 8th house, that has to do with shared resources. This is your own resources. So shared resources, and that could be a sign that, you know, the warning signs, the writing on the wall is the overreacting, over controlling, and this is you separating yourself. That doesn't mean that you have to end the relationship, but I think that in some way you are changing the nature of the relationship. The next message is Zadkiel, Angel of Mercy. So we know this one, right? So I feel like this is almost karmic, to be honest. And in the 8th house, we're talking about death. So often it has to do with, you know, past lives. I feel like this emanation is here because this is a very tightly knit karmic synergy of interaction between you and another spirit or another soul that you are working through right now. And the reason why there's such a forceful action is that this has played out time and again over a long period of time. However, it seems to me that in this reality, you're going to be successful at breaking away from it, you know, and separating yourself. And the mercy is, I feel like you had in some way, it's been so tightly knit, this karmic connection, that time and again, things didn't work out. Time and again, the control stayed in your experience. And I feel like this is the Zadkiel shows up because it's actually coming in from like another dimension or another energy field, and through that, showing mercy to your situation by sort of doing what it needs to do to separate you from the same outcome. Pretty neat stuff. So you're the only one who's gotten a karmic answer, and I just say it how it is, right? So anyway, so this is the new moon eclipse at 15 degrees of Capricorn. This is your 8th house. It has to do with endings, occult, shared resources. Big theme for you, karmic attachments in the way that you share resources with others. That is going to get purged and renegotiated, restructured, all of that stuff. But the new moon eclipse is bringing something new in, change. Time to change, time for the cycle of change to begin. The nice thing about this eclipse is that if you initiate something on this eclipse and it really goes haywire, you have the December eclipse to actually again readdress this. And for you in the 8th house, that's kind of like endings, death, and change. So I feel like maybe that could feel somewhat intimidating, but your training wheel slash your security blanket slash, you know, your security net is actually December 5th, when we have, or 26th, when we have the second eclipse happening just over here. It's going to happen right here. So if something goes off in a way that you don't want it to, I think especially for your sign, there's a little bit something to look forward to. Yeah, it's 11 months from now, but probably still way better than, you know, not having something at all. So you're the only sign who actually gets this. So hey girl, hey, high five. And it's something to kind of be happy about, because there's a lot of big planets here, especially Saturn, Pluto, the South Node. These are like big players, especially in the way of karma and change. And so, you know, if something goes haywire, you know that you have like a few months to weather. Most adults don't find a year too scary anymore. Time goes by so fast. So if something does go wrong, you know, and that's a probability, so very small chance of it, but still a probability. So if something goes way off, then I feel like you'll get another chance at correcting it, and I think you will. Either way, it's going to be a big learning pattern from now until December 26th. So there you go. There's also a beautiful star here. One of my favorite stars is called Vega, and it is in conjunction with this eclipse, which is already super powerful, and that is a fixed star associated with magic and charisma and miracles. So something wonderful will happen on this eclipse, I think so. And then we have Icarus, which is an asteroid here, and this is where I'm saying, like, manage your speed. This is super fast. This is slow and stable, and then super fast. So something I think will come through really quick. But with Icarus, there's always the ambition kind of piece of advice, like don't go up too high. Icarus's wings melted as he flew up to the sky too high because he was ambitious and he wasn't listening to the advice. So temper yourself and you will be fine. Okay, let's take a look at your cards. And this is more tarot card readings. And we have the 5 of Cups, which is Mars in Scorpio, and the 2 of Swords, which is Moon in Libra, and then we have the 8 of Cups, which is Saturn in Pisces. Okay, so it does look like what seems as though is pristine, it really isn't. And I think that this is a theme for you in the beginning of the year. Some things and some ideas that are supposed to be really okay are really not underneath the surface. And I think that either out of politeness, sympathy, or compassion, you have been allowing that to be a facet of things, so much so that it obscures your judgment. So you let someone in your life because you feel compassion and understanding to their motives or what's going on for them. But I feel like just having them around is afflicting your judgment with things. And I think that you're coming to terms with that, finding peace within it. and not caring about it so much. So it doesn't mean that this is the destruction of a relationship. I just think you're restructuring that relationship in your mind. Anyway, I'm going to do a full Celtic cross in your January playlist. If you've gotten the January monthly readings, you'll get a free reading in that on top of the regular monthlies, and most likely I'll do a second one, but I'm only guaranteeing this and the monthly, and then most likely I'll do another Celtic cross or something for the January 20th eclipse in Leo. Both eclipses are special. They're starting the year, and for you, I think you're the sign that is probably most dependent on how you start, and it all rests in your hands, like how you interpret things and how easily you release and how easily you humble yourself is the fastest way to adapting and changing in the right direction. But some things just have to be learned, some things just have to be learned basically through experience. So don't beat yourself up. And I think that there's an angel that came in to help you, which is quite nice. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk with you soon. Take care. Bye.